Okay, so I'm going to show you something I've been working on for 2 years, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. I'll tell you what it is. I hope you can recognize it.
Atreides, etc, etc. Hey, it's the Dune Lego. Let's have a look at this. There are a few Lego sets that make you think that the Lego designers are having just a spectacular time doing their jobs, quite like the Dune Ornithopter. Look at this thing. Look at how gorgeous it is, and then just think how much fun Lego designer Mike Psiaki has swooshing it around the office every day. Because if you're wondering what that looks like, good news, we've got footage.
So he pulls all the wings in and goes into this dive and then swoops out of it right by the ground, and we've been playing with this thing so much. It's really fun to play with.
Rumours have been bubbling for quite a while now that we were getting a Dune Lego set, and a lot of people naturally assumed diorama, right? Like a sandworm bursting out of the sand, ready to eat little Paul Atreides and Zendaya, whatever her character's name is. I've not seen much of her, she's only in the film for like 10 minutes. That's what people assumed that we were going to be getting, and instead they've gone in a very different direction, and this is probably quite led by Mike Psiaki, who has created this spectacular ornithopter, the main vehicle from the film. At the Recognised LEGO Fan Media Days event recently, we had the opportunity to see this set shown off to a few select members of the LEGO Fan Media, and it's got to be said, of all of the presentations that we had that day, Mike Psiaki swooshing the ornithopter around was definitely a highlight, because you can just tell that he is having the best life. Here then is a LEGO designer showing off the LEGO Dune Ornithopter for the first time to a room full of very, very eager fans.
My name is Mike. I'm a model designer at LEGO. I know some of you. And am I supposed to say what I'm showing first or take this off first? I don't know how this works. What did other people do? Okay, so I'm going to show you something I've been working on for 2 years, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. I'll tell you what it is. I hope you can recognize it. This is Dune. Nice, good. I'm glad some of you know what it is. This is a Dune Ornithopter. Not based on the original 1984 movie. I'm sorry for those of you that were excited for that, but this is based on the 2021, what we see in the 2021 movie. Which we're very much looking forward to the sequel that's coming out in a few months' time. And we've been working really closely with the studio to develop this model. I'm just going to show you a little bit of what we've included here. So we have a cast of characters. I would rather you guys try to name them than me, because I think that's way more fun. And hopefully we did a good job. Does anyone know who this is? If you can look closely. Dr. Kynes. We have Duke Leto Atreides, Lady Jessica, Paul Atreides, Gurney Halleck, Chani, and then Duncan Idaho. And then this was our original cast of characters, and the whole time we were developing the model, we just kept talking about, wouldn't it be so cool to include the Baron? So, of course, we've also included the Baron Harkonnen. He probably doesn't need to be with an ornithopter, but you really need the Baron when you start talking about Dune. So, I think it's a great cast of characters, but then we also have this model. This is a little bit different than anything I've worked on before. It's very high on the functionality. We actually started making this model working on the functions right after we saw the movie for the first time. A group of other designers and I, back in September of 2020, we were like, I wonder if we could make one of those ornithopters in Lego bricks. That's actually my favorite part of the whole Dune universe, is the ornithopters. And I remember reading the book just wondering, what do these things look like? And the way that they are executed in the movie, I just think is incredible. So we were trying to be as faithful to what we saw in the movie as we could. So we have the wings that can deploy by flipping this lever here, and then you can lift it up, and there's actually this button on the back, and you can start to flap them all. But for me, the coolest feature of all is actually the landing legs. So there's a knob here, so as you turn this, they all fold up together, and then it can go flying around. And then my favorite thing to do is, if anyone remembers the movie, there's a scene where Leto flies out to observe the spice harvesting for the first time, and they realize that the crew of the spice harvester needs to be saved. So they're trying to figure out what to do, and they go into this dive. So he pulls all the wings in and goes into this dive, and then swoops out of it right by the ground. And we've been playing with this thing so much. It's really fun to play with. And I'm not going to embarrass myself with making my swooshing sounds, but maybe you'll catch me doing that later. Because the function kind of takes up so much of the interior, we haven't been able to recreate the entire interior of the vehicle, but you can open up the front cockpit on either side, and then we have this little tray that you can take out here, and then you can take just 2 characters and put them in. So the scale of the model is roughly 1 to 35, I would say, something like that. It's a little bit hard to say because in the when for the movie they made real life props that they would use for shooting, but then all of the wings are added digitally and even sections of the tail are added digitally. So what is real and what is digital in the movie is very hard to discern where that split happens. And so we are kind of basing our model both on the physical props that they built for the movie, but then also on a lot of digital reference that they gave us. So 135 is not like, don't write that in stone or anything, but it's pretty close, and I think it looks pretty good with minifigures in it. So we also, for this model, we developed 2 new elements. So this new blade piece, this was the driving force, not driving force, but like the thing that drove the whole sides of the model. We were originally just playing around with like, okay, let's make this ornithopter, and I said, I'm going to need a really big wing, and I asked our engineers, like, how big of a wing can you make? And they said, how big of a wing do you want? So it's like this back and forth. So I said 40 modules, and they said, okay, they could do that. Which then I felt like I should have asked for bigger, but in the end, 40 modules is a super challenging wing to make. It's a little bit different than the wings that you see in the rotor blades that you see in a Technic helicopter. So this is just a single molded material because we want it to be super light. Because this function is like taking so much energy, so much force, and we didn't want it to be too crazy. So yeah, it's a slightly different design, and I know it probably looks very similar, but so that's about 8 modules longer than what you see on the big Technic helicopters. And then we also developed a new cockpit piece here for the front. We spent a lot of time trying to figure out, the front is kind of like the face of the ornithopter. If you imagine it based on a dragonfly, then this is like the head, and we thought we really want to get all the details in this section right. And we not only do we want to get it to look right, but we want it to be great to build and great to play with. So we decided we needed a new element to achieve that, to have the right stability and also the right shapes. So we made this new cockpit piece. I hope it will remind you of the original Jedi Starfighter cockpit from like 2002, I guess. I love that piece so much. But it had like a bubble top. This one is still test molded element, so you see some weird sink marks and stuff. But the final one should be really good. Yeah, and we're taking advantage of our new, I don't know the name of it. Does anyone know the official name of it? Trans Black. And that was actually being developed while we were developing this model, and I was a little bit internally, and I know I shouldn't say this, but I was a little bit opposed to making the new Trans Black. I thought the one that we have is pretty good. And then the studio showed me references of this vehicle, and they were showing me the glass color, and I was like, oh shoot, that's exactly the new Trans Black color that we're making. So I'm actually quite happy with how it works on this model. When we were first playing around with the function, we were like, we want something that we can pick up and fly around and play with, because even if we say that we're making Lego models for adults, they should still be toys. Like we want, I don't know about you guys, but like I want to pretend like I'm an adult, but sometimes I still like to play with my Lego models. So yeah, we thought like it's part of what makes the ornithopter so cool is its functionality and its ability to fly and transform and all this stuff. So if we can't get all that, then we don't really have as a compelling of a product. Originally we considered some display bases, but this goes back to just my view on Lego bricks. I don't think I've ever actually made a display base in a model. I just don't care for them. I mean, I understand why people want to put things on display and pose, but for me, this is a toy to be played with. And I also, now I'm going to get super controversial, like my dream for the end of a Lego set is that it gets taken apart and turned into something else. And I think that a stand goes a little bit against that. So I'm partial to not having stands. That's why we spent quite a lot of time to like make sure that this landing gear is quite stable, so it should actually pose quite well just sitting on its own feet. It's close to 1,400 elements overall, and I want to say probably at least 500 of them are Technic. The whole core here is quite a lot of Technic stuff to make the wings work. The big thing we were playing with is how do we make these so they can, you know, flap a lot of times and then not pull off. And then also the folding is I've never made anything like that. I think we made at least 20 or 30 different versions through development of that function. And then we realized what kind of space we needed to fit it in, so then we made another 15. So it was quite a process.
And there you have it. Are you going to pick up the Ornithopter yourself? Let us know in the comments down below. Let us know, by the way, if there's anything else that you would have liked to see from this LEGO set, or if there are any Dune sets that you hope for in the future, such as a sandworm diorama. Make sure, by the way, that if you are planning on buying this set or any other LEGO set, that you use the affiliate link in the description or the QR code that is on screen now. Doing so takes you to the LEGO website via our affiliate link, gives us a little bit of a kickback, helps to support the work that Brick Fanatics does. Make sure that you also sign up to our newsletter at brickfanatics.com, where there is going to be plenty more coverage of everything LEGO Dune. Make sure also that you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure that you hit the notification bell and subscribe so that you never miss any of our videos, and make sure that you have a lovely day. Thanks for watching.